tēnā no hoki tātou te whānau. Hei tēnei rāhoroi, kei tā aho koutou, kei te mātakitaki mai te Pāwhiti 2025 Māori Touch Nationals, and we've got a very, very special game for you right now. We've got Queensland Māori taking on Hauraki, and look at them. They're starting off hot like they do on the Gold Coast. Straight into it, Queensland Māori, and they're definitely no strangers here. They come back home quite often. Last year's finalists, oh, look at this. Tap-off play, slides it in there. What a great touch. Beautiful touch on the far side there. And Hauraki definitely known for their mixed touch in the Hauraki tip.
Heka they are, and last year's Open Mixed champions were Hauraki. Unfortunately, no team this year in the grade, but we've got plenty of talent here in the 21 mixed. As we see Queensland Māori, as you mentioned, last year's finalists, what about that? Sharp footwork there from Kalani Te Amo to cross over for Queensland Māori. What a way for them to start, starting with a bang.
Yeah, and that name Te Amo in touch. Remember the whānau, if they're related, but down in the Manawatu. I know they come from Tūhoi land, and yes, definitely a very famous name in touch. But they've got the young lady in the middle there. Beautiful distribution, just off the right foot, just slides it in. Lovely honesty. Our sports made on honesty. I did like their tap-off play, but that far side, I'll get her name later on from the Hauraki, stepped up and snuffed that one out. But here we go. Hauraki going to run a little dingo play, as they say. Right to left, just going to release. Good hands. Nice little shut there. And the wind, you might not be able to see it on your screen, but it's definitely picked up a bit. And it will play if you do start throwing those high balls into the wind there, Tim.
Tika Tobo, and now Queensland Māori will look to ruck off their try line. We have seen it throughout the day. The wind has played quite a major part in all of our fixtures this afternoon. This will be our, I think, maybe 7th live stream game of the day. I've lost count. I've been here for so long. But we've got Queensland Māori now looking to break away. And that was Tiki looking to slice through, but unable to on that occasion. And now Hauraki, they'll get the turnover just inside their own half.
But how cool, Tiff, you know? E noho e nei rangatahi ki ahi trade, and how cool about to come home to play a sport you love, back to a place that's, you know, a lot hadn't been to in the past. Yeah, it just looks awesome, and I dare say there's a few characters in that Queensland team.
I think probably led by Quates Tōpine there, who was trying to get into our sideline mics pre-game to let us know that he was the star player to watch. So shout out there to Quates.
Yeah, I think that's his Ngāpuhi side, as I can see here on his whakapapa. It's his Ngāpuhi side, Tōpene. Here he is, rucking up the field, nice and clean. There's just slightly different things I see from this Queensland side. They dump really, really close to the sideline. They keep this nice rhythm. Oh, look at the speed, slicing through. Wow, look at this work off the ball. Just no one gave up. They look like everyone's sprinting in a different direction, but trying to get into a place where they can receive the ball. I don't think I've seen that much movement of someone scooping in the in-goal for some time in the youth grades.
I know, and he had so much time in the in-goal, didn't he? It was a brilliant scoop there from Gilbert Marino. And just the patience on the ball. You know, when you get into the in-goal, it's almost a separate skill in itself just to have that patience and wait for your teammates to make themselves available. He did so on that occasion, managed to find Kohu Takere, and Queensland Māori, they take an early 2-0 lead in this one.
Yeah, look, they're running this, it's interesting watching the tap-off defence. They run a bit of a, as they call the mad dog defence, but they get the girl link involved, so that's nice to see. It's good to see some different defensive shapes off tap-offs. It'll be interesting to see if the Hauraki has seen that and if they've got a strategy for it.
Okay, you'll probably be one better than most to ask this question too, but how much different is coaching and playing mixed to coaching and playing in a single gender grade?
I think when we have men that have played men's and only men's and they come over to mixed, the biggest thing is it is fast, not as fast as the men's grade, but you've got to cover more ground, and that's sort of what I tell them. In men's, you cover less ground but at a quicker speed, whereas in mixed, you actually cover quite a lot more ground. So you've got to let them know that you're going to be doing that stuff through the field, because they freak out when they actually do it. So that's something around roles. And the women generally have to be tougher in terms of they've just got to be able to handle more physical rucks against guys. So I guess just preloading them mentally about what it's like, so they can sort of register. So that's something. And I find in the mix, the girls generally, it must be an awesome feeling for a female to score on a guy. And I think that must be quite addictive, that must be quite addictive. And they generally tend to stay in the mix. You've got ladies like Mariana, Winiana, Atawhai Hōtene. They strictly just love their mix, and I dare say it's things to do with that. There's an addiction to the mix game. So, yeah, it's something that I think is, I guess, unique to mix to the other men's or women's.
Tautoko, bro. And now Hauraki, they get there first of the afternoon, and what a time to strike two after being down by two. Just managing to find a bit of a hole between link and wing there and crossing over. So, just speaking on the mixed, Hauraki, you mentioned they're quite mixed dominant out there in the sort of Coromandel region and the Thames Valley. And then Queensland Māori, this team, they've been together for quite a while, and we've seen them come back year after year from Queensland and Ahitereiria back to Aotearoa and retouching, reconnecting with their roots, as we see a little bounce out play. And there's a question mark over the pass, and our man on the sideline there, Mr. Griffiths on the far side, and then Mr. Mani, our adjudicators in control. They were right on the spot to make that call.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've seen it, but they run a splitter play with the girl and they've done with her. Beautiful setup. Like, you just don't see those setups in the mixed. I must get her name. Looks like the young girl, Williams. Once that play stopped and turned to defence, she flew. So they're very, very clear on their roles. Especially the link girl and mixed has got such a big role. Almost playing a role of another guy, but the skill set, I mean, you've definitely got to be brave. So, man, really loving these new pitches that we just don't see back home.
Now, Queensland Māori looking to ruck towards their box, getting a little bit more space there between the sideline and their ruck, and so fresh legs come onto the field with a little bit more room to run. And then Wilson Clune looking to feed out to the left, and then just a little bit of disconnection there between Link and Winger, and the ball goes over the sideline.
Yes, and I've just seen three. It's by Māori Takere, so it'll be interesting to see who connection. There's a couple of them in the team, a couple from the whānau. And I just see out here, those that know the mixed game here in our country, Charlene Bannister, her niece is number 4, young Williams, who's just moved over. So mixed touches in her blood. Oh, yeah. And once again, hats off to the 3 adjudicators on the field. I'm loving the 7s through the orange. That is a zone that we're always sort of quite nitpicky to keep teams apart, but I feel they're doing a great job, Tiff.
They are, and down on the 7 as well, as we see Queensland Māori, long ball out to the wing, and there you just talked about it, Kyan Williams, she catches that long ball right on the chest, dots down, and she gets the 3rd for Queensland Māori.
And Braxton Wilson Clune, son of none other than Terry Clune, young boy from the Waikato, Raui ball kicker, comes home. He's actually signed up with Wynnum Manly, come through Burley also, gone over there and chased that rugby league, and he loves his touch. It's great to see him. And so there we have Queensland unofficial score 3-1 over the Hauraki.
Hauraki, they'll want to remain within touching distance here as we approach the halfway stage of this first half. But they're very patient in their build-up, aren't they? Just trying to get down to the 7. As we see Baker looking to use his footwork.
Yeah.
Just looking to evade there, but penalty called, just offside is the call from our adjudicator. And so Thames Valley, or Hauraki I should say, they're in the Thames Valley strip, but they get a full set of 6 now. Down on the 7, Baker, he'll get the quickie back. Plenty of purchase out on that left. Looks to step off his left and dive underneath, but great defence there from Queensland Māori.
Really liking the look away, Māori Takere, this girl link for Queenie Whenua. Just watch her. She stays nice and close. She'll be a good tail defender. She won't leave her inside hanging. Stays real connected. Because this is the zone. It's sort of, she's marking up on a male, who's generally quicker, but and she's playing far side as well. So you've got to travel that little bit extra. Here's our man. We'll call him the comedian, Paul Penny, jumping on the sideline microphone. And he's young Braxton. Yeah, I do like this, just slowing up the tempo just to get your tempo, to get your subbers on. He's got the big, gets in that back gate. Just a clean plant, and he's going to use his feet here. Use the speed, through the hands. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, floated it over the top. Yeah, for a moment I thought it was play through. Touch and pass is the call though. And yeah, I like the look of Braxton Wilson-Clune. He's looked to slow it up and then work in tandem there with Kohu Takere. And couldn't quite convert though on that occasion, but you know that combination is definitely one to look out for Queensland Māori.
And there's Taniko Takere, she lifts too, so there's the Takere whānau in there. I think there's about 2 or 3 in here.
There might be 4 in there, I reckon.
4 in there, yeah, you are correct. Awhio, Kohu, Taniko, and Waimarie, beautiful. We've got some speed on the back end, scoops in the in goal. Great touch. And the Hauraki are definitely testing them. That may be the way to go for the Hauraki, just get a nice clean plant with just a power scoop back end.
I think, yeah, they've almost broken through maybe on 2 occasions in the first sort of 10 minutes. So if they're not going to be able to get right down to the 7th, then maybe their power scoop is definitely something to look to.
Yeah. Oh, and they managed to get a sneaky error. It might have been the first error from Queensland exiting. Yeah, on the ball now we've got Devonport. It's just great ball movement. You know, 2 colleges there. You've got Paidal College and Hauraki Plains have produced a lot of great young mixed players.
Aye.
Probably one of the greatest to come out of the Dino Williams in the mix, and obviously hard to go past Pungel's mean feet. Renee Whitcliffe, and look, they just slide one in on the outside.
Yeah, they just held the ball up there, got the quickie on the outside and just held and held and held. Waited for the link from Queensland Māori to shut, and they did so. Short ball to the link and try time there, and they've remained within touching distance there.
Yeah, it looks like Lyric Jackman King. Lyric, he's leaving his mark in this game. Yeah, nice direction. Just a little reverse, nice little pop out. Yeah, the 2-hand slam.
Yeah, just attracted the attention of Te Amo there defensively. Got him to shut, got him to bite. As we see Queensland Māori now looking to run a sweep of their own. Long ball going out to the wing. Great defense there from the winger though. Shut that down quite easily there. Now they'll shift back to the middle. Takere's doing quite a lot of work there, isn't she, on the attacking side of the football. Players in motion. Have they dived over? Great quick hands there. That combination once more. Taniko Takere and Vadim Gilbert Marino working an absolute treat there.
Yeah, just everyone's playing their role, you know. Doesn't matter what position they're at, they call a play. Everyone knows the move. They really use the young, talented, this young Takere whānau, and they're heavily involved. Yeah, just a joy to watch, and hopefully this is the way that mixed touch is going, is making sure that we're using the skill of the whole 6.
Tautoko, yeah, absolutely right there, Hika. As we know, it is a 6-person game, so I have heard the mixed game being referred to in the past as 3-on-3 men's, which I'm not a big fan of. You know, just sort of, I think our wahine out there deserve a little bit more respect, as we see great defensive play there from Takere, and ably supported there from Awhio Takere out on the wing. So a great defensive combination and unit working together there.
Yeah, you're so true. Exactly right. Like, yeah, I wouldn't like to be in those teams. It'd be downright boring. But both teams see the strength. Oh, look at, and this is the thing. This is beautiful to watch. Like I said, it doesn't matter what position you're in. Looks like 5 there, Taniko. Some skill set, some speed through the hands. This is where we'll see skill set. Oh, great shot. That's a lovely lift from Jada Jackman King out of the Hauraki. Ngai tara Tokanui Te Raroa. Yeah, and you know, Hauraki have done well. They haven't had nowhere near as much attacking opportunities, but they're only within 2.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Hika. They haven't had as many opportunities as Queensland Māori have. A lot of the opportunities that they have had sort of have been from distance. I think you can count on one hand how many times they've had a repeat set down on the 7. As we see another example of it here, scooping from almost the 10, but it's that power game, isn't it? Scooping from a long way out. Lyric Jackman King, as he crossed over for another one. There's a bit of controversy about the pass. Our referee, our Kaiwawao, says play through. And they cross over there, and Hauraki scooping from a long way out, but we did say that would probably be their best bet at the moment.
Yeah, go e whakahe te Kaiwa, wow. He's got the whistle, and I tell you what, I was talking earlier about Hollywood actor names, and Lyric Jackman King. Doesn't it sound like an actor from Hollywood? But beautiful finish on the back end, all the way from Ngāti Maru. There we have it, 4-3. Just quietly, I dare say the Hauraki were quite chuffed. after the, the star-studded performance from Queensland. They're just doing things at real high tempo, and Hauraki are in with one. Here's Braxton on the back end again. Oh no, it's a different attacker. Great work. The wahine in both sides, these Māori kura, e tākoro ana tēnei wā, man, just really stepping up.
And now a short ball here, and Hickling crosses over. It was patient, and right on the hurdle. What a time to strike for Queensland Māori. Te amo, just feigning to go left, stepped off his left foot, and then a beautiful chop line there from Talia Hickling. And I think the halftime score probably a fair reflection there, Hika.
Yeah, tika tau. And tēnei wā, I think it's unofficial scores 4-2, 4-3, Queensland over Hauraki. Here we are, no kawe huri ki teihana ke, ka hoki mai a koko ake nei.
We've got gifts for the whole whānau.
Ryobi 18-volt line trimmer and blower kit, only $1.99. Fountain Products clamshell sandpit, just $18.98.
You gotta love Bunnings at Christmas.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through tough time. It's a real privilege, but for us, we want to see others get involved in it. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
Mai hoki mai ki Rotorua International Stadium, where we've got an open mix fixture on our hands here between Queensland Māori and Hauraki. Unofficial score here, Queensland Māori up by 2, 4-2 over Hauraki. And it's been an interesting first half, as I mentioned right at the end of that first half there, Hika. Probably a deserving lead for Queensland Māori. They've definitely had the lion's share of possession and territory, but Hauraki, they're definitely not out of it.
Nā, Hauraki, man, they're really standing up, but me mihi ki tēnei kapa ko hoki mai ki te kāinga, I te ākau kaura, Queenie Whenua, they are running some beautiful systems that we're seeing. They've got tap off defence, they've got fly defence, and they really get their young Māori kura, their wahine involved, and it's beautiful to see. We've got 4 whānau members in there, wai Marie, we've got Taniko, Awhio, and also Kohu from the Takarei whānau. I know there's a young man, Wilson Clune, Te Amo's another whānau we know of. We've managed to acquire a sideline media man, Cortez Tōpene. But ka mihi ki o koutou, also whānau from Wong, played for Samoa Women's at the World Cup. I just seen her name pop up. So, man, how cool is it to come home and play a sport that we love?
There's nothing better in the world, is there, Hika? And Hauraki, they'll get first use of the ball in the second half as Harris looks to use his feet there. Speaking of Harris and some of the more prominent players that you've mentioned from the Hauraki region, Keegan Harris would probably be another one there, right, Hika?
Yep, totally. Yep, definitely. It was good to see him back at Māori's last year.
Left foot there, Baker.
Yeah.
It was easy in the end, yeah. Just a slip-in defence there from Queensland Māori, and Ezra Fulford manages to cross over for Hauraki. But it was a great left foot step there from Max Baker, and doing just the patience in the end goal there, managing to cross over for the third for Hauraki.
Yeah, and that's mixed touch right there. Nice, get a scoop alive, on the ball, get a scoop on the ball, use his feet, go through, and then that work off the ball. There's generally a touchdown if you want to work off the ball, but I do want to give a quick shout out to number 5 from the Hauraki, Roimata, Harahep from Ngāpuhi. She's been really good off the ball. And it's that hard roll when you've got to mark up against a pretty nippy, quick male. And do they just strike back? Yeah.
There's desperation both ways, and then an honesty call there from Mitchell Davenport. No touch was made. Yeah, there was diving all over the place on that occasion there, Hika. And Queensland Māori, they cross over for their 5th. What a way to start the second half.
Great way to start the second half. Yeah, just getting that target at speed, isn't it? Oh, spotter play comes through hands, checks it off again, through. Oh, yeah, great honesty. And Wai Muddy, yeah, I meant to mention her name a few times in the first half. And they push out, just keep that 2 touchdown buffer. But here's this sort of wave defence that they send that really sets them up. I really like it because it gets their far link girl involved. And then they can sort of shut outside shoulder here.
Long ball out to the wing. Forward pass, though, unfortunately, is the call. And it's great football unrewarded there. It was Will Baker on that occasion that threw the long ball out to the left. And I've been impressed with the work out wide here from Samantha Lee. You know, we mention a lot the far side winger doing a lot of the defensive work and a lot of the work through the orange zone, both on attack and defense. And, just on defense, I should say. And she's done well out on the wing, finishing tries, finishing opportunities, and then shutting them out defensively. So she's done well out on the wing here, Samantha Lee.
Yeah, look, Hauraki have got they've got some early ball, you know, a bit of a error exiting, which we haven't seen early in games from. He probably pushed the pass. It didn't need to be pushed.
Yeah, that was Kelsey Wiri Hanatawake there. Just try to push the pass. Yeah, you're right. And it's a real dominant ruck there from Hauraki, but pass probably didn't need to be thrown. It was early in the set. They had the rest of the set to play with down on the 7, and they haven't received too many of those opportunities throughout the entirety of this game. And if you're giving the ball away that early, then that's like giving away gold.
Yeah, and it does become contagious, this sort of stuff. And you're right, you know, probably the message from Hauraki, any ball we get down there, make sure we take our time and at least use the whole set of 6, you know, really make this Queensland team, because they've shown already they've made 2 uncharacteristic errors getting out of their half, which just goes to show they've got errors in them. So, and the closer the game gets, the more pressure that comes from out of nowhere. Hauraki could find themselves drawing it up, you know, late.
It's just a matter of being resilient, isn't it? And that's exactly what they'd be looking for there. I'm sure Coach Troy Hirowani would be absolutely delighted with that one. They couldn't quite convert the set before. They get another chance, they get another bite at the cherry, and they don't make a mistake there. Ezra Fulford grabs his second of the second half.
Yeah, and that's mixed touch 101 right there. Nice little 7s play, back to the girl link, just outside shoulder steps back, short ball, and there you go. So it actually can be that easy at times. And, you know, Hauraki, if they can hold them out here and get another one, get back-to-back touchdowns, all of a sudden we've got a game on.
There's that play once more. You talked about it in the first half, didn't you, Hika? They run that splitter platform with the female link. On that occasion, it was Takere coming through the middle and then just dummying everything on that side of the football and throwing out the link, but not quite getting enough purchase on that occasion.
So dangerous. It's such a dangerous platform because if you overread, that girl's got skill set, so you can't give her time. So you're almost locked in, shoulders facing the play, aren't you? So you're almost beaten just on the picture of the play.
Yeah, there have been a couple of errors, haven't there, throughout the midfield coming out of the second half. Both teams a little bit jittery, and I think they know the game's in the balance. Queensland Māori, they have the comfort of a 2-try buffer. Hauraki fighting from underneath here. And now here's Takere and Takere. The 2 middles in the middle of the field. They look to get a quickie. He'll step off his left, dummies and dives over. Referee says play through, ball down. And that's about as direct as you can get, isn't it, Hika?
Oh, you know, those are touchdowns every day of the week. They beat you with their feet. Like here, you're offside there, gets it down 1 step off. You know, we can see it from here. And, sometimes just when you win a ruck like that as an attacker, you're almost you just got to get the ball down. So, but I just hope the Hauraki can just really value their possession that they get. Any extra ball they get, they've got to make the most of it because they've got great attack. I really think their best weapon is their speed. I think they've got beautiful speed, beautiful agility, and with some great finishes. So if they can stick at that, they'll really push this Queensland team.
And now they're forced to attack from more of a static setup. Here's Wiri Hanatawake. Yeah, he didn't make a mistake that time. He pushed the pass earlier a couple of sets ago. That time he holds the ball himself, dives over, and he crosses there for Hauraki, and they just always remain within touching distance.
Yeah, I think what's happening is they're keeping them high. They're keeping them high. Once you're up, you're obviously not allowed to sink anymore, and I think that's where the Hauraki got them. So I feel their last 2 touchdowns have been the most easiest touchdowns of the whole game for them. So maybe just that half-time was a bit of a grace for them, and they've had some great messaging from the coach. But if I can just get that one stopper, score, and there's one in it, I think they'll put real pressure on this Queensland team.
This is where they really need to put in the tough work, isn't it? They look to run a little follow play, and that's all they need, isn't it? It's just that little bit of reprieve, and to stop that ping-pong battle going back and forth, try for try. And so that's the first step. Now the next step is to ruck off their line, get down to the 7, but unfortunately just couldn't quite do it on that occasion.
Yeah, he nui ngā hapa. A lot of errors have crept in. So kaora, and this Queensland team does not need another crack at the cherry. Here's Tōpeni. Yeah, this little outball, they just... isolate them so well, don't they?
Yeah, you called it right, didn't you, Hika? They don't need a second invitation, and that was Vadim Gilbert Marino just using his footwork there. Got the matchup male on female, and then just using his right foot step. And male middle defender not quite tight enough to get across. But it's that OZ play, isn't it? We've seen it's about as old as time.
And I think they've reverted back to your classic mixed touches, where you need who you need to manipulate and where you need to finish. And both teams have got it right this half. But here we go again. And they're still lifting on this tap-off defence, It's almost like it's in their DNA for a tap-off. Nice body profile. They do the stuff really well. Yeah, nice.
Was a touch made there? I think it wasn't, no. So Hauraki, they've definitely scored enough tries to keep themselves in the game and even be on top. It's just this defensive side where they need to put in a little bit more mahi, and then through the orange zone as well.
I think the old defensive coach for both teams will be getting a bit of a word in the debriefing behind the old whānau. The attacking coach, well, he's cheering, but the defensive coach, I think they'll be having a little bit of a hooey.
But it was a long levered hands of Mitchell Davenport there, crossing over for Hauraki. So they're now down by 2. And again, it's just that stopper that they need. As we see Takere, he's dangerous on the ball. Wow. Plenty of open pasture out on that far side. I thought there was another winger to come in the picture there, but Hauraki caught a long way in.
Wow.
And Queensland Māori had plenty of time to catch and put it down.
Work it. I mean, who threw that? Was that Braxton? That was, yeah. Definitely looked like someone with big guns.
Went up to say kia ora te ranginui and back down again.
Oh, dingoes. Yeah, wow. Look at, we've had Kaumari Mga Pedal, 15 touchdowns. 15 with still 5.5 to go. It's been a long time since I've seen that many touchdowns, and it's only 15 minutes a half.
And I was going to say, Hika, is, the sun's out, but it's been raining tries for both our games to start off this afternoon block of games. So if you are around Rotorua and Rotorua International Stadium, this is definitely the place where you want to be to watch some excellent on-field action.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ko tahi te wāhi. Karika he wāhi tūatu, Rotorua International Stadium fields. And I tell you what, I think they've got their mojo back just quietly. Queensland, they're coming on, hissing and roaring. Ball movement, just these 1%ers finding the side of the body straight up the middle, straight down Main Street. Just going to use his feet through the hands. Let's just see them draw a pass. Oh, I'll tell you what, definitely saved the day.
Yes, she did. Although the penalty goes the other way, touch and pass is the call. I think, Hika, what we saw from that set, that was probably the first set with over the last maybe 4 or 5 minutes where they actually had to ruck off their try line. Because a lot of their starts have been from halfway because they've conceded the try. But that was the first set in maybe 4 or 5 minutes where they had to ruck off their try line. So plenty of energy coming out of the box and onto the field.
Yes, tautoko, tikato. It has been a while. I think the faster this game gets, probably the more we'll see the Hauraki come into it, because they have got some speed on speed there.
Baker just looking to get on the outside there, but couldn't escape the clutches there of Queensland Māori's defender.
Just in terms of the referees, I just want to shout out to our on-field ref, He was over the backfield down there refereeing a 40 men's game 2 games ago. Now he's in a 21s game, and it's gone from about 10k to 100k just in one game. So, man, great fun. Hauraki needs to hold their head high. They definitely do not give up on defence, do they?
Oh, there's desperation galore, as we see out on the left. They haven't stopped yet. There's Fulford there trying to make a play, and it's still going too. Yeah, it's a real hallmark, isn't it, that desperation defence. They don't die until the ball does.
Yeah, definitely. And a sign of fitness and sort of team culture when you don't give up. But the Hauraki, beautiful ball movement through the orange zone. On they come, young Roimata with the ball here. Got a great skill set, this young lady. Been watching her just quietly off the ball. Yeah, on the ball now. Looks like we've got Baker. He's running the chop there. Oh, beautiful. Man, they're really going at it, aren't they, defensively?
Well, now they're getting into more of a grind where it's between the orange and between the sevens, isn't it? Whereas before it was more sort of half-field touch almost. And now there's a little bit more grind, and so you'll see a little bit more defensive pressure being applied, and then a little bit more of a battle throughout the orange zone.
Yeah, just looking well behind the Queensland team. The hands on hips. The pace has gone up. And probably any team wanting to run against this team you're going to have to run at high octane for the whole 30 because they're looking quite comfortable now, 9-6.
Tika and Topine, there was our man. He scooped through. Throws the late switch for Takere, and I dare say that's the nail in the coffin for Queensland Māori. And it took him 13 and a half minutes of the second half to finally make an appearance, but our man Cortez Topine, he comes up with the money there, the late switch, and Takere, he crosses over, and that extends Queensland Māori's lead out to 4.
We're going to call him Cortez, the commentator, Topine. He finally got on there. He was talking it up early in the game.
He was talking it up.
I think we haven't really seen much. But, he saved his best for a couple of minutes and puts them out. They go to double digits to go ki te ono. Hoi anō, kei te pakanga tonu. Kei te pakanga tonu Hauraki. Oh, look at this little split play. Oh, it was like a late. Oh, she just steps up and owns that one.
Yeah, she's a great player up there, Natalia Hickling. I remember seeing her in action for, I think it might have actually been the Indigenous team over at the Australian Pacifica Cup a couple of years ago. So she's definitely a player to look out for. And now Takere there, feeding Takere. Yeah, Williams gets into half.
I've watched her really manage the boys in the box, like being quite stern to them. So good leadership. Oh, yes, look at this. Oh, there's so much time, eh?
Queensland Māori attack.
Oh, great team. We need to get the number of the far side winger for Hauraki. She snuffed out a couple almost sort of sitter tries, but just as chased hard. And as we talked about the role of that box winger, she gets her team a bit of a penalty.
I think that passage of play there, Hicka, was probably the best indication or the best representation of both teams. You had the flair of Queensland Māori going from coast to coast, and then the desperation and the resilience of the Hauraki defence as they're happy to die with the football there to end the game. But an excellent display of mixed touch in this 21 mixed grade Queensland Māori and Hauraki. Both teams should be very proud of themselves.
Nō reire te iwi, koira ngā kau te whakamutunga te kau ki a Queensland Māori, ono ki a Hauraki, hoki mai, a koe nei.